everyone. This is episode 236, and this episode features myself, Bender Only, and Bombcast J talking about a lot of stuff. What kind of stuff? Well, you just have to listen to the episode because I did no show prep, took no notes, and just shot from the hip, which led to a whole lot of different conversation. I hope you like it. We enjoyed it. Oh, also, be on the lookout soon for something called Broken Continuity Entertainment Network. It's going to be big. We talk about it a little bit in the show, so we're excited for that. Also, make sure you check out our friend Daniel Moeller's fourth and final issue of Psychonauts Presents. You can go to indieplanet.com and order that. That's Psychonauts Presents number 4, and it wraps up his original comic book story arc. And I would be remiss if I did not say go also and back the Kickstarter for the Atonement Bell from good friend of the show, Jim Oosley. So I've done it. You should do it. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I think you should listen to me here. There's probably a whole lot of other stuff I'm missing, like maybe something my buddy Aaron Conaway's doing, like his YouTube channel or something. I don't know. Just know you should go do everything I tell you to. That's probably make life easier. So that said, listen to this, but you're going to have to wait till after the bomb, which is about right now.
I didn't come last week and I really want to.
Go, Lou.
But Vera was sick. She had like low-grade fever and a headache. And I was like, man, these are like some of the COVID symptoms. So
Yeah.
I stayed home. And then I had her tested I couldn't get her in on Monday to have her tested. I had her tested on Tuesday. She was negative.
Well, one, I'm glad she's negative. Two, it was a pretty good episode. Jim's great. Three, he was complaining a little bit last week about losing his favorite hat, but he seems to have found him a good replacement hat with the Crossroads Brewery up there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. If
I
it's
still
good,
want my Bushido hat
if
back.
it's good, I didn't even get a chance to look. I don't even know where.
If you don't have it, I'm gonna buy one.
I don't think I have it. I think that was one of the hats that didn't make the cut when I had to purge my closet of 200 hats.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! I have like 5 hats and they're all from breweries.
So I need to. So what? The only hats I need is a Sting softball hat. Is my hat that I can get dirty in, like swimming or riding the bike or something. Then I have
3 of those.
Then I have an actual bike hat. Then I have my Cardinal hat. Then I have my Milan hat, which is a nice hat, but it's also water resistant and all that stuff. So that's all I really need.
Yeah.
But what I have is a Schlafly hat. My 49ers hat. I've got that. But then I have a Blues hat I never wear. I mean, it's just like it's out of control. Yeah. And I don't need a dirty hat anymore, really, because, I mean, I'll just go bald or wear a headband
Well,
if I go
like,
work something.
I have my hat that I cut the grass in because I still have hair.
Oh, see, I've got an old, that's out in the garage, and that's one of the boonie hats, bush hat.
See, I need to get one of
Protects
those.
my face.
I don't have that. And then I have a hat for the river.
It doubles as the same boonie hat.
Yeah, it could. Mine, I have different ones.
Yeah.
It's an old beat up like Columbia hat or something like that. But yeah, this is riveting. Start of the podcast.
I don't think it's a bad. I think people need to know what type of hats. It's a good question.
I want to get a new one when I'm in New Orleans, I'm sure.
Are hats like shoes for women? Is that what we're saying?
I guess.
I have a lot of shoes also, though.
I got a lot of shoes,
I got some my Nike SB Blazers. I've got my Hey Dudes. I've got my
oh, you're
Clouds.
a Hey Dude guy now?
I've had them for about a year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We got
boxes
them
on your feet?
We got them. We got the Hey Dudes. God, like Lake of the Ozarks during the pandemic.
I can't wear them because I made like a drunken die on this hill. I'll never own a fucking pair of these. And then I tried a buddy's on, and I was like, these are pretty comfortable.
They
but
are.
I made a big scene about never wearing them because they're Kleenex boxes for your feet.
For a shoe
so
to wear to like a pool or something, this is pretty solid.
I get it, but I died on that hill.
But speaking of dying on hills, I'm sure we can come up with some other stances because we are back. You did hear me and Bender talk a lot about hats and shoes. Jay didn't weigh in very much. I can only assume that he's being quiet because he has a million hats and shoes.
Yeah.
Actually, I only have a couple hats, and I have like 5 pairs of tennis shoes. So that's all I wear.
Yeah, and I have no less, counting my coaching ones I wear coaching, I have no less than 3 pairs of softball shoes. And I don't even play softball anymore. It's absurd.
I have soccer shoes that roll around on the back of my truck that I've used
I thought he was
twice.
I thought he was about to call it like the Heelys. Or
Yeah,
the soccer
no.
shoes that roll around like Heelys.
no,
It's
no.
really cool.
They're
it's
just
when
in
you
the back
gotta-
of the truck.
It's when you play soccer and the game mom calls and you got to get out of there in a hurry.
Yeah. The sun's going down.
Yeah.
Lights are coming on.
Speaking of sun going down, I hadn't seen it in a while, but Thor Ragnarok was on TBS or TNT yesterday, and I got sucked into it. It was I turned it on right as the fight with Hulk, and Thor tried to pull the sun's going down, big guy.
Yeah.
But it's still a great movie. Still,
It is a
Taika
great
Waititi
movie.
might be the MVP of that universe right now with what's going on.
Yeah, I think he outdid James Gunn for sure.
Well, that said, the first Guardians of the Galaxy was great.
I like the second one too.
Yeah, I think so. It was fine. It was fine. That said, that little conversation piece right there was almost everything I brought to the table today.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot.
But we've got stuff we could talk about, I'm sure. So let's just get right to it. And I think because Jay brought a book and there's stuff written in it, I'm sure he has something we could start with.
So did you guys watch What If?
I did watch What If. That's a good place to start. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts were, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts were. And then I'll tell you how excited I am about the possibility of a live action. But let's start with since it's your topic, what did you think overall?
I thought it was an okay episode. A little weak to start. I guess my big issue was it was the first Avenger again that just gender swapped.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
an Iron Man suit. Mm-hmm. And if they would have done a little more outside the box, I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah, I think if they would have leaned in a little more with the weird monster that the Red Skull released at the end or something like that. But it hits all the high points of the first Avenger and just like you said, just gender swaps it. But that being said, I really liked the art. I thought the cell shading was really cool.
Yeah.
And
Now, is every episode going to be the same art style?
it looks like it from the preview.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would love different
If they
styles for
switched it
different
up,
stories.
yeah.
That would be kind of like a robot. Death, Love, and Robots does on Netflix. I
think it'd be cool.
That said, you're right. It did look great.
Yeah, the art was really cool. And I liked the, the Hydra Stomper. I thought that was a pretty cool aspect of it. And I guess if they were going to go further into it, like lean into it, even if it was like a spin-off comic series where it ran for 12 issues, that might be interesting. But as like a short one-off story, it wasn't that much different and it wasn't mind-blowing.
I don't think they're going to be one-off stories, though. I think it's all going to culminate in the last episode.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at the
theories
titles.
too, yeah.
Because the last episode is titled, like, Thanos, Ultron, and the Infinity Saga or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the other theory that's out there is that they're just putting toes in the water to see what the temperature is on live action versions of some of these. And I'll start there. The Haley Atwell would be awesome as that character in live action. But to digress back to the episode, I felt the same way you did, Jay. If I was to give it a rating, it'd be like 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
It was okay. I guess the internet's so in love with it, and I want to kind of compare it a little bit to the reason people loved WandaVision so much comparative to the other stuff. I think they just want to love I know I'm going to, speaking of Heels to Die On, they just want to love female-helmed stories so much, the internet, the loud parts of the internet. And it was good. It was a little more, they changed. I loved how they changed up Winter Soldier and all of that.
See, I was kind of disappointed in that. I was glad that they didn't make Steve Rogers like the Winter Soldier or whatever, but that's a cool character that now doesn't exist in this What If world.
Yeah, but that doesn't bother me. It changed the story enough and to be just a little better than a gender swap. Mm-hmm. But I guess the two things I want to say. I don't know what I expected because if you go back and read those What If stories, they were usually two stories in each book. Mm-hmm. So you had a 10 to 11 page max story.
Yeah.
So you have a short story. This was a short story, one-off short story. And two, I think it was okay, and I think this it's just like with Black Panther, which is a very, very good movie. But there were a lot of people that were calling it the best Marvel movie made at the time, and I just think that's virtue signaling.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good movie, but that ending is bland. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
I thought two things that I thought they did very well is, even in a cartoon, portraying her like excitement at the power. Like when
she was the best part of it.
When she first started fighting the Nazis, like that, like genuine joy. I thought that, and I'd have to go back and rewatch the first Avenger or whatever to see, but that portrayed really well, and just the action scene,
all of it
just spectacular. Like the fight with her and Steve Rogers as Iron Man jumping through the planes.
Oh yeah,
that's some badass shit.
Yeah, and honestly, there was nothing they did wrong.
No,
there was nothing they did wrong. The entirety of this series should just be cotton candy. Should just be filler. And fluff and taste good. But you're right; they could lead somewhere, and I think that they're already, there's a lot of momentum for Haley Atwell playing her in real life, and she certainly looks the part, man. Yeah. She certainly does.
Yeah,
but
and she had that show, Agent Carter. I never watched it, but apparently it was good.
But Rogers was good in this. Tony Stark, or Howard Stark was a little cheesy, and bringing him along the way they did was kind of silly.
I thought that was kind of silly.
But the fact that how well they did her character, they did her justice. They did a really good justice. They made her believable. They pushed the right buttons, and buttons I support in terms of, I always say don't force a female into the lead just for the sake of doing it, like some comics have done.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They made her a very deep and awesome character. And made her had to not prove herself, but really shut down the naysayers, because remember the time period, women didn't do anything.
Right.
And she was like, well, I'm not just a woman, I'm the superhero on the planet.
Well, I think in the show or whatever, she was also like, she was a creator of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess, in the universe. So,
I never watched it.
Yeah,
she's a founding member, I believe.
Yeah, they touched on that later on.
Yeah,
both Endgame and
I think even remember that.
Yeah, I think it was Ant-Man too.
Yeah.
But I never watched the show either, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sucked, and when that came out, I was like, I just assume this is going to suck too. But apparently, it's pretty decent.
I don't need. Yeah. I mean, I hear Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got better after a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that it's not canon anymore, so there's no real reason to go back and watch it.
That's ridiculous.
So I don't know.
Well, they started jumping timelines too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So they got the writers got a little too ahead of themselves.
Yeah, I think so.
So overall, I think we're kind of all on the same page. 3 out of 5 on it.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the next episode or all the titles of the episode. I remember when they came out.
I think the next one's a Chadwick Boseman one, but he's got 4 episodes, so I don't know which one this is.
This is the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be fun.
A lot of websites that review this stuff got the first 3 episodes, and they said the first one was the weakest of the 3.
Oh, that's good.
2 and 3 are supposed to be
certainly
amazing.
If this was the weakest, then you're doing great, because this still was worth watching.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's probably on purpose, because WandaVision was pretty weird. People liked it. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, and it was what you kind of expected it to be. And then people were sort of disappointed with Loki. And I think this first episode's a safe bet of like, this is.
I think WandaVision is the Sixth Sense of the M. Night Shyamalan movies, and Falcon and Winter Soldier was the Unbreakable. Falcon and Winter Soldier is better than people let on, and Sixth Sense and Wanda's not quite as amazing as everyone let on. But they're all both are very good.
So solid.
Yeah.
Yes. I really liked Loki. I thought I had a good time.
Loki was awesome. Like I said, Loki pushed every button I needed it to as well. I mean, they hit on every science fiction, like paid homage to every sci-fi thing they could. It was awesome.
Did you see the? I was just looking for things to talk about when I was coming over here, and I guess Aquafina was trending on Twitter. And
what'd she do? Or the water company. Hard to say.
The actress in the Shang-Chi movie. And I guess she's kind of made her... And this is Twitter, so you take this with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But like Black Twitter, she's made her career on like black stereotypes and like her voice and everything like that. And now that she's like getting big and famous and they're throwing her everything, she's trying to back away from that.
So they're trying to say that she got famous through cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. And so everybody's like shitting on the movie already. And I'm like, you guys haven't even watched. It's not even out till next week.
And her TV show is supposed to be good, very good.
I think so.
I don't watch it.
I don't know. I haven't watched it. And everything I've seen her in, she's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen the.
Was she in Call Me by Your Maybe? That sounds kind of racist if I don't remember. But
what did you just say?
Always Be My Maybe. That was what it was.
Always be my maybe. Call me by your maybe. That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I did say that.
Wait a minute. I don't even know what that sentence
Always
means.
Be My Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That was
Be Your Maybe.
That wasn't a bad show.
No,
that movie on that was a
funny
Netflix
shit.
one, right?
Yeah, with Ali Wong.
Yeah.
And, the guy, the dude from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he's great. I like him. He came from Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah.
That's where he came from. We've been watching, well, let's start here. We've been watching History of the Sitcom on it's A&E, not A&E, but like one of the news.
AMC?
No, it's more like one of the newsier web, not CNN or anything like that, but something like that, like
TLC or something.
True TV or something. I don't know, but it's the History of Sitcom.
It's HLN,
and it's been pretty good. And they've been doing a theme. Like one theme was. Where work, work is your second home. So that entire episode was the shows that revolved in their work, like Night Court and Cheers. And then one was Fish Out of Water, and it touched on Asians and things like that.
I don't know. I'm not. What's Fish Out of Water?
A Fish Out of Water is like they touched on Big Bang with Sheldon. He's like a fish out of water.
It's not an actual show.
No.
It's
Like
just the genre type.
The archetypes of these sitcoms.
I was like, I never heard of this sitcom.
It's like 5 episodes in, and this last one was the Fish Out of Water. It was called Freaks and Geeks, etc. And they went through, and it even got to Freaks and Geeks, and they talked about how some of these shows. It's amazing how culturally impactful some shows were that even back in the day that just did not last very long. It's the Star Trek. People just assume the original Star Trek series ran forever. It was like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But it was like in 3 seasons, then they showed them. I mean, they just changed everyone's lives. So we've been watching that, but I wanted to talk about. Because you brought up something that we watched in that, I wanted to talk about and go ahead and touch on our weekly update of what might be one of the top 5 greatest Christmas episodes in the history of TV. Yeah. In Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Man, I got to be honest. I made the mistake of bringing Rachel into this Ted Lasso thing where normally if she goes to bed I would just watch whatever I want.
Oh, that's gonna hurt me.
And now I can't because she's like, well, don't watch it without me, and we're like 3 episodes behind.
Oh man,
it's all right though. You can talk about it.
It's
I'm fine.
So fucking good.
Don't worry about it.
I'm watching it on Christmas.
Okay.
Like it's good. It's like it's now must watch Christmas.
So it's an actual Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is. I know you say we can, but this won't spoil
it. I don't care.
It won't. But like they touched on the things you expect. Ted is he's not without his family, and he tries to do like a Zoom
Christmas.
Yeah. His son gets so excited about his gifts that he runs off, and he gets a little sad, and he wasn't going to go spend time. Then his boss comes through as the big hero, and they make her. How last season she was kind of deplorable, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, this season she's just fucking great.
Yeah.
And you find out why she is on Christmas. And then my favorite part of it is a character that was just almost beat on all last season, and even some this season in Higgins.
Yeah.
It's not just that he's now, people don't. They did a good job this episode saying, hey, Higgins is one of the most important parts of this Richmond, because all the players without plans, without families, all the foreign players, and he goes to his house and he goes, Ted, you're welcome to come to our house. We usually have a party, but only 1 or 2 people show up. Well, every player that's not local in the team,
awesome.
and they all bring their own dish and their own food. And man, I tell you, it's a happy tear-jerking episode.
Yeah, that's awesome. Rachel's little brother Michael's best friend. Like the your own dish thing is like one of my favorite stories from like growing up near Rachel's, dating Rachel, and since her brothers were little kids. But his best friend Namdi is Ethiopian. And like he was born and raised here, but his parents are from there, and they drove taxis, and now all their kids.
So he's used to those cultural dishes.
Yeah. But every year she would bring over on Christmas morning like all of this Ethiopian food, and I don't know what it is or what it's called, but one of them was like basically a meat-filled Pop-Tart. And it was so fucking good. Like you just eat like millions of them. Like see like a whole bowl of them, and Like, that was, like, my favorite part of
I gotta tell you,
Christmas morning is when Nami's mom was bringing food over.
I gotta tell you, the taste of it has to taste better than your description.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just like
the meat-filled Pop-Tart almost makes me want to throw up.
Like, it didn't have, like, the sugar or anything, but it was, like, you know, like a little puff pastry type thing.
All I can picture is a Pop-Tart with meat.
Oh, it was good,
Think about your surprise had you bought a package and popped that
Oh, yeah, it'd be
out.
awful. Yeah. What was it? Guy Fieri or whatever did that for the Field of Dreams game. It was
that didn't
Pop Tart hot dogs. Stephen Colbert tried it. He said it was good job. Good job.
Let's tie that back to there's one story going on throughout the episode of Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
And it's Roy Kent's niece's breath.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to ruin it any more than that. But you just heard me say a lot about this episode. And at the end of the day, the MVP of the episode is Roy Kent.
Yes. Oh man, this is his season, I think.
Dude, no. The title of the description for the next episode is Ted asks Roy for a favor. I hope this is how Roy ends up becoming the coach. My theory on the 3-year arc of this show is that Roy takes over as head coach
and
Ted gives it to him, and he goes home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe even though there's going to be that awkwardness, maybe Ted and the owner. I mean,
hook up together.
Yeah, and then he moves out of the and gives it to. But whatever. I don't even mind. That would be too cliche.
I think that's too on the nose.
But Roy Kent taking over as head coach, I think, would be great.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up.
Yeah,
I know, man. I'm dying. I'm trying with Rachel. She's a pain in my ass.
What was the that I just reminded myself of Pulp Fiction, the vaudevillian joke. So a family of tomatoes were walking down the street, and the son tomato was straggling behind, and Dad ran over there and said, "Hey, catch up." You didn't laugh. You weren't supposed to. Yeah. That's what she says in the movie. Yeah. What do you got, Bender?
I brought this random survey that I clipped off of Twitter the other day. That it says the title is "Americans are more confident than Britons that they could beat any animal in a fight," and it's pretty ridiculous. Like, it starts out your standards. They ask 100 or so people which animals they could beat, and rats, Bretonians said that they could beat 67 out of 100 said they could beat one. 72 Americans. House cat, 69 Americans.
House cat with its claws will fuck you up.
All right, I'll go through the list. House cat.
I don't think I could beat a feral house cat. I think. Well, let me rephrase it. I think I could beat the cat, but the cat would give me a lot of. I'd have to go to the hospital after.
Yeah. He's
have you ever had a cat jump on you?
Yeah, for a tetanus shot.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely like you should see the other guy. Like he,
I ended up wrapping a blanket around that fucker and banging it against the wall 15 times, but it got its shots in.
Goose.
Oh, I've beat up geese.
Yeah, just one swift kick, they run away.
They'll grab them by the neck and throw them.
Oh, okay.
One of my best friends.
Illegal.
One of my best friends, Hal Pal, his mom had some geese for a while, and they're just
like the Canadian ones.
They just fuck your yard up, man.
They're the worst
animals alive.
Yeah.
And they would get up, come at you, and if you just turn the table on them, because they come in aggressive and they start flogging, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
But they give you a couple warning yells, and after that first yell, grab those fuckers and throw them.
And
then they kind of get their shit together, like, oh, okay.
I went to Flow Valley for the first year after high school, and the fucking geese there were terrible. And there was a set of steps you'd go up, and they'd be hanging out at the top, and you wouldn't know if they were there or not until you were almost to the top. And if they were there, like, that male would just flock up and like, fuck you, I'm going through anyways. But some people would turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
Where the buses would drop off kids at my high school, geese would lay eggs every year. And so kids would just start walking in, and these geese would go attack them.
Yeah.
And we would just sit there on the other side of the window just watching kids walk up and get attacked.
Yeah. And because they lay eggs in the same spot every year. That's like imprinted or whatever. Yeah. Next one is medium-sized dog. I've beat up a dog.
Yeah, but I tell you what, pit bulls can be medium-sized, and they're pretty ravenous.
Yeah, if it gets the right spot on your body,
again, a dog's like a cat. Like, if it depends on the area. If I'm in an open field, dog's got the advantage.
Yeah.
If I'm in like a barn situation or even in a house, I got some weapons.
Yeah.
Like, give me a bat, I can fuck a dog up.
Yeah, and they didn't put any like tags on where you're going to be for the fights, are they?
Yeah. No, it's just...
Most of these are
We'll just say
dependent
dark
on
alley.
arena.
We'll say dark alley.
I still might be able to fuck up a dog. You get some
Yeah.
trash cans in a dog
Yeah.
alley, hold that opening when the dog lunges, put it on him, and then just start going to town pro wrestling style on him. Yeah.
All right, this next one, I think if we're doing dark alley, I think you got it. Eagle, he's got nowhere to get up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even an eagle could fuck you up, like on it, but the eagle's not going to lift you off the ground.
No,
and it's going to take a while for an eagle to after one attack.
Yeah.
They're not going to hang around too often. They're going to fly up, and when I get to, if it gets the element of surprise on me, it better get a kill shot.
As long as it doesn't get you in the eyes right away, I think you got it.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't have its kill shot first time, but swoop 2, it's done.
Yeah.
So did the Americans say they could take it over the Britain?
Eagle was 23 Americans, 13 Britonians said they could take it out of 100.
I think the Americans would feel bad and not have to go after it.
I don't think we're allowed to.
Yeah. Politically, we can't beat up an eagle.
Yeah, I think we have to let it murder.
What about
us.
brown
That's
eagle?
in the
though?
Constitution,
No.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think
brown.
so.
It doesn't say bald eagle. It just says eagle.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The next one's large dog. We can skip that one.
Yeah,
this one's a little
if
insane.
you can't take the medium dog, the large dog ain't going to do anything.
This one's a little insane. Chimpanzee.
Oh, no, chimpanzee.
15 Americans out of 100 say they can beat up a chimp.
That is zero
Fuck
people
you.
have a chimp.
You're 6'6" or whatever. You ain't beating up a chimp.
I'm 6'6", and a chimp could pick me up.
Where's that reality show?
Yeah, no shit.
They go, and by the way, and all monkeys' instinct is to go for the eyes and the nuts.
Yeah.
That's because they want to eliminate the manhood of their opponent.
Yeah.
That's a level we're not prepared to handle
No,
yet.
and, I don't even think if I was going to fight him, my first thought would be, I'm going to rip its nuts off.
You ever
I
seen-
don't have that level of brutality.
And if you've seen Grandma's Boy, even a kung fu chimp can fuck you up.
Next is King Cobra.
No.
It doesn't specify size, but either way, I don't want to fuck with it.
No, King Cobra, because they're only going to attack on the element of surprise.
Yeah, 14 Americans.
By the way, a king cobra is
out of
big.
100. Yeah, they're like 8 feet long.
Yeah,
or something.
king cobra is not like a cobra. King cobra is like if Godzilla were a cobra.
Yeah, I feel like if you were gonna fight it, it would stand up and look you in the eye, and you'd be like, "Never mind."
And remember, they can strike up to 3 times their length away.
Yeah, and some of them can spit.
Yeah,
so you didn't have to hit you.
Get you right in the
Spits
eye.
in your eyes.
Yeah, that's rude.
You've seen this on the internet, but kangaroo. I feel like I don't know.
No. Yeah. You see on the internet when they're boxing them, those are tranquilized and docile kangaroos.
That's true.
There's a video or there's a story I watched one time on one of those Animal Planets or whatever. The claws in a kangaroo's feet are like this, and a guy he didn't do anything wrong, but they got too close to a kangaroo with a kid.
Yeah.
And he tried to get away. It only swiped him twice, and it cut him from his throat down through his nuts into his leg.
Well, you see those like super jacked ones every once in a while. Like,
the kangaroos that grew up in the trailer park.
Yeah, look like the fucking rock version of kangaroo.
You've had all the advantages in your life with good food, a mom who loved you. They had no food, but somehow come out all jacked with an attitude.
Why are you so where's your gold chain?
What do you cut your meth with? Steroids? HGH?
Well, see, what I think of is the cartoon one with the boxing gloves.
Yeah. But then they lean on their tail, and kick you in the kidney. Man,
the one that constantly whoops Sylvester's ass, and then when he swaps out with the real mouse. And
I feel like you could get away for a while, but you're coming away with like internal bleeding from a battle with a kangaroo, and you're gonna die in the hospital later.
Oh yeah.
So 12 Americans think they could beat.
No.
Wolf. 9 Americans think they could beat a wolf. You're not fighting one wolf.
Yeah,
you're fighting a lot of wolves.
I could beat one wolf like I could beat a medium dog.
Yeah.
But we've learned the wolves travel in packs.
And then it gets real insane from here. 8 out of 100 Americans think they could beat a gorilla. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
They weigh like 3 times as much as us. And no. And then 8 out of 100 Americans think they could beat a lion. Then it gets even crazier. 8 out of 100 think they could beat an elephant. How do you beat an elephant? Like, how do you win in a fight with an elephant?
You'd be trampled.
You'd be gored. Like, what is your game plan going in a hand-to-hand combat with an elephant?
Look, this is a guy that just got lucky versus a kangaroo.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a huge... That's a cool scar, though.
Look at that side. Ooh. Kangaroos you don't fuck with a kangaroo, dude.
And then the last one, the least amount, is 6 out of 100 people said they could beat a grizzly bear up.
No! No, there is only one thing on the planet that can fight a grizzly bear, and that's a silverback gorilla.
Yeah. Or a shark.
No, but...
In his own element.
Yeah, in his own element, the shark is unbeatable.
Yeah.
What is the... what's the great... what's the other guys? The shark versus peacock. Now we got a taste for shark. So we're gonna fasten a breathing apparatus out of kale, our seaweed. Bet you didn't see that going that way, did you? Huh?
Yeah, this was so stupid that I had to click on it and didn't save it for the episode. I thought maybe you'd think you could beat some of these animals, but you came in.
Yeah, came in with us. Yeah, turns out I have a level head.
We're realistic.
Yeah. Now, again, even against a grizzly bear, if I'm at a gun range, I can take him out.
Yeah. No, this is hand-to-hand combat.
No. You can't even climb a tree. A grizzly can master you. Speaking of, this is a good segue. I just watched The Grizzly Maze on Netflix.
What's that?
Oh, exactly. The only reason I watched it, it's got Thomas Jane.
Okay.
It's got what's her?
One?
Yeah, I'll take one of the rainbow ones. It's got Thomas Jane. It's got Billy Bob Thornton. It's got James Marsden.
Yeah.
It's got gosh, I can't even remember her name, but she's the main girl from Coyote Ugly. I can't think of her name right now. Piper Paraboo. Yeah. It's got her. It's got all the recipe for a great movie. But it's awful. Yeah. I'm not even going to break down the story. Just know that a maze with a bunch of grizzlies, and at the end of the day, it has a message. All of the illegal hunting and all of the poaching has caused grizzlies to go hungry, and when they're hungry, they get aggressive, and there it just all went downhill from there. Yeah. So this grizzly starts abnormally hunting and killing people, not just to feed, but out of anger. So it's hunting the humans. And Tom,
Ghost in the Darkness?
No, a little different. I mean, because Thomas Jane's also a tree hugger cop who wants to protect the animals, and Billy Bob Thornton's like a noted hunter who's going to go kill it, and then James Marsden is fresh out of prison for killing a man, but it was actually self-defense and killing a cop. But it was a cop that was bad that was trying to kill someone. It's just got a lot of convoluted plot points.
That's weird.
Just know that the special effects are awful.
Yep.
But it really settles the argument of man versus grizzly, though, pretty good.
It's the second time I've heard about it this week.
Really? What was the other time?
My buddy Matt was talking about it.
On your show?
Did he give the same impression of the movie?
He said, "Don't blame me if you watch it."
Yeah, I mean, if it's pouring down rain and you've had a couple of bourbons in you, like I did, watch away, man.
I watched. Did you watch Crawl on Hulu?
That movie's great.
It was pretty good.
The dinosaur or the alligator movie. I mean,
it was pretty good. But at the end of the day, I was like, "This is just alligators eating people."
We watched it actually when it first popped out on Amazon Prime. We paid like $4 for it.
Yeah,
because I heard for an animal attack movie, it's one of the better ones you've seen in a while.
It was pretty good. Like the surviving in the basement was pretty decent, and they upped the ante. And the special effects are slightly better. Than everything else.
It was a theatrical movie.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I was like, I'm not mad at it, but if I never watched this, I'd have been.
Oh yeah, which is what all animal attack movies should be, except for Jaws.
Yeah,
of course.
Let's
Jurassic Park.
Before you get into your other topic, Jay, let's talk real quick about how I feel about your show. I was thinking about this as I was listening to it. Your show is, and our show, which he's got 2 straight weeks of a show, John.
Oh, there you go.
Another one tomorrow.
The difference in our shows is a lot like the 90s X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. We kind of talk about the same things, but it's not necessarily the same group of people that are involved in it. So the stories, and it's actually, and I'll kind of segue into bring Bender into the fold to kind of what we were talking about. It's actually like there's some continuity between our episodes.
Yeah.
But like I hear you, like the topics have been the same, like the Black Widow, the Scarlett Johansson. But you have another voice, and so I was like, we are essentially the X-Men, our shows, which made me feel really good that we were the X-Men.
Which one of us is Cyclops, though? 90 Cyclops sucked, so
I mean, none of us are Wolverine. we're a lot.
Got the hype. That's about it.
We're a lot closer to Professor X,
pretty
Jean Grey, and Cyclops. That's about you. I mean, at best we could be Forge. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the continuity between our episodes, that like how you end up talking about the same thing. Only you guys talk about it a little different. And that's what made me think about the broken continuity, and I haven't told you about it yet. I've been toying with the idea of creating originally a podcast network, but now an entertainment network.
Okay.
So I created the logo. I'll show it to you later, and I bought the domain because that's not very expensive. Yeah. and Broken Dash continuity, and I've already got Aaron and Daniel and their YouTube shows to pledge. And essentially, what we would do is it would just be one website and be a place where everybody can link their websites and their shows. And like I told him, when someone comes on to promote something, we could car wash them. We could just push them through to everyone let everyone know and things like
cool.
And our guys at ABC got the Podcast Mo thing that I always tag them in it, and then the Cerebral Entertainment guys do their Cerebral Entertainment Network. But mainly, I told Jay I'd like to be a little more targeted about it, if that makes sense. Only have like stuff that's genre or pop culture specific, like we do.
Yeah.
Like if you do a comic book show, if you talk about TVs, movies, video games, that's more our alley. I mean, everybody else kind of goes off on the wild and stuff, but I don't know. So I'll be reaching out to people and talking to them and stuff like
Sounds
that.
fun.
Yeah, it couldn't be hard. I told him like one monthly newsletter or email about new shows that are coming on board, or what guests you could go out, or who needs guests to fill some spots, things like that. I think it'd be fun.
I think so too, and the interviewing is the most fun part that we used to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
It used to be easier to interview people for me when my kids were.
When you had less of them?
Yeah, I had less of them, and now you guys are at the right age where your kids are more.
I have a 16-year-old, and she can drive my kid places.
Yeah.
It's maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I was at. I thought you'd like the comparison to our X teams that we have. But what else did you bring?
So I watched the Book of Henry.
What is that?
It was by
I've seen Book of Eli.
Colin Trevorrow. It came out, I think, 2018. It's about a boy who kind of takes care of his mom, but he ends up getting sick, and he leaves her his journal when he passes away.
Sounds like it's gonna make you cry.
Oh, it was
Get you right in the gut.
He has seizures in it, and so like the stuff that the parents went through is stuff we went through.
Yeah.
So that really hit home. But then the second half of the movie just completely changes, and it's kind of almost a what the fuck type thing. But
It become an action movie, or what goes on in the second half?
Like sci-fi style?
No,
Like aliens are making him sick?
the neighbor isn't a very nice guy, so
Okay.
plots how his mom can kill him.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah, that did take a right turn. I've not even seen the movie.
Yeah, but it's worth checking out. I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
That's a pretty good rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Book of Henry.
Book of Henry.
How many other book ofs are there? There's Book of the Dead, or Book of Eli.
Yeah,
Do you like Book of Eli?
I never saw it.
Did you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Sam, Denzel Washington, Blind Man. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was fine, and at the end,
I think I just ruined it for you.
Yeah, he just ruined it for you. But it's fine, and at the end,
Spoiler
it's just
alert.
like,
He's blind,
It's just a boring Mad Max, right?
and the book is the Bible.
Yeah, I
And
know.
by the-
I know it was critically panned.
Another spoiler: the Bible's actually not the big star of the show. He actually knows the Bible word for word by heart, so he's the book.
I was hoping it was going to be like the Dave Chappelle Black Klansman.
Oh yeah,
They gave him like a comic book and he told him it was the Bible.
yeah, that's a better story. There's some parts in it that are pretty
Book
fun.
of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
Oh, yeah.
Mila Kunis is in Book of Eli, and she's all right in
Yeah.
it. I don't buy her as the replacement for him at the end of the movie. Another spoiler: she becomes the Eli character.
Was she blind also? I don't
No,
remember.
no, she's not blind. Oh, also he had a iPod player, and he would find people that could recharge it. Now, what's the odds of the music staying on there without being damaged after all those years and
Yeah.
stuff?
Star-Lord had a Zune.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that was the genre.
But he also had futuristic technology.
True.
That was the genre when, like, I think Apple was really pushing their shit into every movie. Like, not that this is the only problem with Blade 3, but Jessica...
The dumbest thing.
Jessica, what's her name?
Biel.
Jessica
Biel,
yeah.
shooting people, but listening to music while she shoots people.
It's,
I'm pretty sure you got to hear him coming.
No, and then Ryan Reynolds has his metal stuff. It's a it's a grunge thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But not only does she listen to the music so she can't hear the vampires, then in the climactic battle at the end of the movie, and I'm sure we've bitched about this, she shoots the lights out so the vampires don't have the advantage of sight
Yeah.
when they see in the dark.
Yeah.
So Jessica Biel as a vampire hunter might be the world's worst vampire hunter.
Yeah.
Also, still the low point of the Blade franchise.
Trilogy.
When they have the arc Whoa, what is it? It burns half as hot as the sun. Okay, Patton Oswalt, give me the actual temperature of that fuckface. I don't think you know.
Yeah.
I think you're just making stuff up.
Well, what was I watching? The Suicide Squad. They had a similar thing where Boomerang Man. They were in the first one. They're like, he's robbed every bank in Australia. Every bank, every single one. There's thousands of banks.
In his defense, though, there might not be 1,000 banks in Australia. It is like still 80% unsettled. I mean,
That's still that's a weird claim to
of
make.
the 10 deadliest animals on the planet, Australia has 12 of them. I think that's the joke.
That was so dumb. I heard some other, every once in a while you hear weird tidbits, like Patton Oswalt dropped stuff, but apparently Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes on camera, so they had to waste money, digitally inserting his eyes into each scene.
He said they never filmed a scene with him most of the time. They didn't, unless he had to be there. And
he was high the whole time.
That was Wesley Snipes. I'm about to go to prison, Wesley Snipes.
Fuck this, I'm doing what I want. Blah, blah, blah.
Attack the director.
Yeah. Speaking of Suicide Squad, did you watch The Suicide Squad? What'd you think?
I loved it. I thought it was spectacular. I had a blast.
I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. It was everything we like about James Gunn.
Yeah. The detachable kid is the funniest fucking scene I think I've seen in a long time.
His arms getting all cut up. And,
just smacking him. He's just smacking people around because he's got no body weight behind a punch.
It was a great movie.
I'm glad they brought Weasel back. Really not happy about Boomerang and
and Flag.
Flag.
Yeah,
you got to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. There's one of the TikToks I follow is Pete Davidson clips, and that was a clip when he's on the plane. He goes, "Hey, what is this? A dog? What's this dog?" He goes, "You think that's a dog, bro?" And he goes,
"I don't know, like an Afghan."
He goes, "No." Pete Davidson goes, "I don't know. I'm not familiar with all the breeds." And Nathan Fillion beside him says, "I don't know. I was thinking maybe it's an Afghan." And they get in an argument. That's when he comes back. It's a weasel. That dude that played. I watched a movie. Speaking of Flag, I don't know what all that guy's been in, but I watched a movie not too long ago where he got himself put in prison on purpose as an undercover cop, and then he, typical story, like the guy that was helping him go in there was actually crooked, so then he was just stuck in prison, and he ends up creating a riot in order to try to get out. And it's not a bad movie. That guy's not a bad actor.
No, he's a good actor. Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, and he's you know what? He's a good enough actor that he can pull off some emotion, and he's big enough and physical enough that he's an action guy. He needs to, I really hope that he spins off of this and gets some more stuff, because that was a great scene with old Peacemaker.
He did the first season of Altered Carbon on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it was okay. I never watched the second season.
Did you find the movie that I'm talking about, Jay?
Let's see.
It's a prison movie. He's all tatted up in it.
He's tatted up, I think, in real life.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think those tattoos in the movie were real.
Huh.
Those are his.
Brothers by Blood?
Sorry.
Let me see. Brothers in Blood? No, I don't know. Hey, let's move on to a different topic. We'll figure it out.
Did you see, I don't know what it made me think of it, Matt Stone and Trey Parker's ridiculous $990 million deal?
Oh, yeah. It's
for South Park.
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, dude. Look, I'll look it up real quick as you're talking.
I think it's $990 million for 14 movies, and I think another 10 years of episodes or something like that.
Wow.
And they bought the real, and I haven't watched South Park in 10 years.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I have the details right here. They did $900 million is what they got. So they said we have fuck you money, but that's not even fuck you money. That's fuck you money for your great grandkids. That gives them, that buys them, Viacom 14 South Park features to exclusively stream on the Paramount Act.
Yeah.
And then it also gives them, it doesn't say how many seasons exactly. Well, next season South Park will launch in 2022, and 2 new South Park films will debut this year.
Yeah, I think they're doing a film or 2 a year for the next couple of years, 7 or 8 years.
Well, I got to tell you this. So I don't see where it actually says how long, but you're probably right. It's probably something in that range. But here's the thing. Bigger, longer, uncut was a massive success.
Yeah, it was.
Now, I don't know that they could duplicate that success twice a year.
Yeah.
But the first one will be a big success.
I heard very good things about the pandemic episode, which was like an hour-long episode or something like that.
You know, the beauty in the star of that show is Trey Parker and Matt Stone themselves, and the way and it used to be that they had a cardboard cutout and do it, but when computer graphics came around, they really bought in early they make the show that airs the week before it airs.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so good. And there's been a bunch of stand-up comics that were writers on it, and they talk about, there is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of each year, they take them to like a retreat, and they always go to like some resort or camping or stuff, and they kind of go over like all they go over is the story points that they want to continue through, like what the characters are what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then they'll shape all the social commentary week of around it.
Yeah.
And they go, for something that is, and one guy said it's gotta be the closest thing to writing for SNL of anything out there, but enjoyable. Because everybody says, no, they're good bosses to work for.
Yeah. Well, they bought, I guess there's been a restaurant on there forever called Casa Bonita. And it's like a kids arcade or whatever, and it's Colorado exclusive place, and it shut down in the pandemic, and they just bought it to like reopen it with their fuck you money.
That's awesome.
I have had this beer before, this Neon Rainbow. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm drinking a Neon Rainbow. It's a New England style IPA, which means hazy. It's from Cooperstown, New York, famously home of the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's 6.7. We'd be dead.
Yeah.
6.7% ABV. It has got Citra, Centennial, Simcoe, Mosaic, and Topaz hops. I don't hear a lot of Topaz in things.
No, not really.
It's vibrant, effervescent, enchanting. I don't need my beer to be enchanting. I don't give a fuck about that. This full spectrum beer is our Unicorn. Alluringly hazy and irresistibly juicy. It's unfiltered, double dry hopped, and gone too soon. It's a good beer. I like the beer.
It tastes pretty tasty.
Jay, what'd you bring? You brought a beer that I'd never had. And Bender,
Yeah.
you should try this one next.
Okay.
Sudwork Brewing Sherby. It's a passion fruit and peach IPA.
Oh, nice. Is it any good?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. You don't taste all that stuff in it. Like, it just tastes like a good IPA.
7% alcohol, rainbow sherbet inspired IPA brewed with passion fruit, peach, vanilla, and lactose.
Okay.
Galaxy,
I'm going to die
Nelson,
tomorrow, but I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Galaxy, Nelson, and Eldorado hops.
Where is Sudwork from again?
California.
Sudwork, California.
Yeah.
Their cans are awesome.
Yeah.
Everything I've had from them has been pretty
Yeah, they always do a
solid,
good.
too.
They don't do the. Who does? No, that's what I was thinking. The 450, or who's the ones that does
450 North.
450 does all the slushies and stuff. Yeah,
I don't
sour
like
stuff.
slushies.
There's a couple of those beers that are pretty fucking awesome that
Are
they've
there?
done. Yeah.
Modern has one that's really good.
I haven't-
Disco Punch.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
I
I'll
like
have to
that.
give that a shot. So far, every slushie I've had, I'm like, this is great for one drink, and I don't want any more of
Yeah.
this. Like, not even like the rest of the beer. I just don't want any more of it.
Yeah.
So, what else you got? You got anything else?
What else did I have? I have. Let's see. Did you see the Moon Knight? I don't have a lot, but did you see the Moon
pictures?
Knight pic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The one was kind of cheesy, but the other picture looked
There's
really
another
good.
picture? I only
There
saw
was
the one.
there was two of them. One was a little cloudy, darker, and the other
His
one was a little.
uniform's gray though.
Well,
I like that.
it's
Maybe
might
it's a
be-
dream sequence.
Well, or it might be gray because they haven't done the digital touch-ups for the
Yeah.
scenes and stuff yet,
I thought it
like lighting effects and things that they're
yeah,
going to go through.
it's
now.
got like a
Yeah.
mummy wrapped look to it. I thought it was kind of
Yeah.
cool looking.
It looked really gritty too.
Yeah.
yeah, which I'm okay
alright,
with
yeah.
that. It could start white and get gray as
Yeah.
the day goes on.
Or it could start gray, and then as he gets better, and then this and that,
Yeah.
like then it gets even more white. Just those two things, and then also, I guess the big news in DC is they made Tim Drake bisexual this week.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Comic books are making a lot of news of late between Captain America having a gay Captain America, which isn't the
Which I
Captain.
haven't read that yet.
Captain America of the Rails. I haven't, and we're going to throw it to Missy segment up. We're going to get to a comic book. We still need it's inaccurately titled. Throw it to Missy
Yeah,
segment.
she's done. Disaster.
So, comic books between Superman and somebody
the same. Who was Dean Cain made a stance about Superman.
Yeah.
Proving Dean Cain doesn't read Superman, and then this come out and people just went apeshit over like, well, they're just doing this because one, they want to make some get news things, and two, because there's always been the joke that Robin's always been gay because of the way he dressed. So here's the deal. Those people are also dumb because that's not Dick Grayson. And by the way, Dick Grayson is all man.
Yeah.
So they don't know what they're talking about.
I just read an article on this.
All the people that are commenting on this stuff just don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, the article I read, they actually got into some historical context of like how Batgirl and Batwoman came about in the 50s because of there was some book that came out, I forget the name of it, was basically that comics were depraving children and turning them into,
that's what created Comic Authority Code. That was the famous psychiatrist.
So they brought in like the more nefarious people who were like, well, this is like a grooming situation with Batman and Robin. So then they got Batwoman and this and that, and then the show came out and they still got the gay jokes and everything. But
the thing with that study, what he found was that a very high percentage of kids in the loony bin. Sorry to be PC on everybody there, non-PC.
Oh, you're just historically accurate at the time.
Read comic books.
Yeah.
The problem with that, though, is pre-code and pre-paper shortage. Comic books sold. It wasn't uncommon for a comic book to sell near 1 million copies, just even if it was bad.
Yeah.
Like before the paper shortage in World War II, and then that thing happened, and they got rid of the horror comics. There were comic books that were selling 600,000 copies. Like there was not. Now they're not around today because of the paper shortage, but they really took a hit. The theme there was that like today, I would say probably 30% of the kids at most read comics. Back then, it was like 80% of the kids reading. So of course 90% of the kids in the loony bin read comics because 80% of the kids in the country were reading them.
It's like saying the mass killer kids all listen to Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did everybody else's kid in America.
Yeah, right.
For the most
and
part.
that was and so it was. Per what you just said, it was common for the time that the guy that wrote that book, Seduction of the Innocent, is the name of that book. Yeah. And it's a very expensive book to buy. If you can find a copy,
that's what it is.
It's out of print, and it's Seduction of the Innocents, I think. It's like $3,000-$4,000 because they've never reprinted it because it's a stupid book.
Yeah.
And it's been disputed year over the time.
Proven wrong.
But when it was wrote and released, kind of even all the way up into the early 80s, late 70s, like that Dungeons & Dragons After School special with Tom Hanks, people just bought into everything. Well, I was going to say that was common for the time, but people nowadays still just buy into every fucking thing
whatever's
they
on the
read,
news
too.
Or whatever's on whatever Facebook group that you listen to. Well, anyways, so this article that I read about it said basically that it's not like an out of the like left field. All of a sudden, they're gonna make him buy like I didn't read it, but like apparently in like Young Justice or whatever, the cloned version of Superman, the younger Superman, like they had a very close relationship where it was like, it was like a bromance. But when that version of Superman died, he took it real hard, like harder than any like friendship type thing. So like, it's not that they were writing it to make him buy anyways, but there is backstory and historical context to like make it not just you're just making the everybody feel seen or whatever.
It wasn't like the Iceman thing where they had the mutants come back in time and all of a sudden you say it and then the older one's like, oh yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, that was bad. That was
bad writing.
Well, that was what I say where you make something happen for the sake of making something happen. And honestly, with Tim Drake, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He is the one that's out. Tim Drake is the one that's out. It's not Damian.
No.
And it would even make more sense for Damian because Damian's such a
angrier.
Well, no, he was just raised in a weird way.
Well, like the other thing this article on Nerdist brought up was the fact that Tim Drake has changed character. He was Robin, then he was Red Robin, then he was Robin again, and he's bounced around all these different characters.
His girlfriend was killed, spoiler.
And
all kinds of
things.
And
came back.
And came back. Like, they were making some stretches, but they were like, you could make the argument that he was trying to find himself with all these different characters, and he's finally coming out and finding himself or whatever. And like, I think representation matters. I think it's a good thing for a character, and it's not just some throwaway character that nobody's ever heard of. Hopefully they don't kill him, as long as they do things right with it, But I thought it was pretty cool, and it was a decent article. And somebody who wrote it actually clearly was a fan and did like the backstory and like at least looking things up and saying like, oh, this version is stupid now, or this and that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. What do you got? Anything before we throw it to Missy? We
I
can only call it throw it to Badger since he's never here.
yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Ask the Badger.
No, we can go right to that.
Well, let's do that. I do want to say, and I'm not going to go into this real big, but I heard this on a podcast I was listening to, so I wanted to ask you guys, how come Jamaican is the only accent you can do without being persecuted or canceled? You can't do a Chinese accent. You can't talk like you're hip hop, but you can always talk in a Jamaican accent.
Can white people still talk in a Jamaican accent?
Yeah, you can always do it. I think it's because Jamaicans are so fucking laid back that they don't care.
Yeah, I think that's it, and it's a vacation destination.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not culturally appropriating or making.
I don't
fun of
think you
anybody.
can
I want
like
them to have fun.
I don't think you can have a career as a white rapper doing a Jamaican accent, kind of like Snow did from Canada there for a little while, but still. And Shaggy does as a black man. He's not really Jamaican.
No.
Spoiler alert.
That is
It's a weird question, though.
is a weird
You can't
question.
you can't go out and impersonate your Chinese friend, but you can go out and impersonate your Jamaican friend all day long.
That's like I watch Trevor Noah a lot on the Daily Show, and I enjoy it. And he does a lot of impersonations of a lot of different like cultures and everything. And like he's a South African dude who was raised in apartheid, So he kind of gets away.
He
with
can
it,
do
but
whatever
At
he
the same
wants.
time, you're like, is that still okay? I don't really like. He gets a little flack for it, but he's like, I'm not targeting anybody or making fun of anyone. He does a lot of white voices, and it's always pretty good. His impersonations are good.
All right. Well, for the first stop and toss it to Tom, we'll ask you what you've got there, Jay.
So, did you guys ever watch The Expanse?
No, I tried.
I've tried twice.
Well, so here's my problem. I tried once, and I really liked it. But sometimes, if you're not careful and you're just half-assed doing anything, when you're watching Amazon Prime, like if you're down here working, and you hit play, sometimes it'll go to the latest episode and not the first one.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I was like, huh. And then I stopped it, and then when I went up for lunch and I came back down and I hit play again.
Yeah.
On the second episode, I'm like, man, I do not know what's going on. So I stopped it after I watched this before going to the third, and I go, oh, it showed me out of order. So I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
I got to go back and watch it from the first. I've got a couple of really, really good friends and even just some people I barely know that you wouldn't think were big sci-fi geeks.
Yeah.
They think it's an incredible show.
My buddy of mine, same thing. My neighbor Lee's like, you gotta watch it, and I can't get past the Thomas Jane stuff because
Well, you don't have to worry about that very long. So
No, you don't
I know
have
I
to.
still haven't made it past all of his shit though.
I'm halfway through the season, but
First season.
I've been reading the book too.
Okay,
it's a book.
everybody loves
it's a
the
book series. Yeah, there's like 8 or 9 books.
And the people that it's up there with Dune in terms of how much is out there.
Yeah, and they're
Wheel of
huge.
Time
like,
stuff.
it
Yeah,
was
people
almost
love
700
those
pages.
books. Yeah, people love those books.
Is The Expanse the Wheel of Time series, or is that a
No, I'm saying
I
just
thought so.
in terms of volume.
Okay.
How much stories out there?
Okay.
So I was kind of going along trying to watch the episodes as I was reading it, but they're a little bit different. But the book was really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not as how would you describe the books as a sci-fi show though? There's some politics in it, right?
Yeah, there are some. And the book is only told from 2 perspectives.
Oh, so that'll help.
Yeah, so
It's
Holden,
not Game of Thrones.
No.
Because the writer can focus.
Right.
And he's not a pervert.
And there's not big gaps like Game
And
of
doesn't like
Thrones.
talking about shit.
Yeah.
Or shitting.
Or 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
12. I don't even know. how
Still
old she is.
open invitation.
It depends on
George
who you're
Martin.
talking about.
Come on
Yeah.
in here and explain yourself.
But you get the captain of the ship and you get the Thomas Jane character.
Okay.
So you're jumping. Every chapter flips back and forth.
So when you say the captain of the ship, that's the mining ship that's captured by the Mars people?
Yeah.
Okay, and is it the...
I can tell you how the
like
first season ends.
Sort of takeover captain, or like the reluctant captain, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that character, and I liked their story, and it's... I guess it's a political drama, I guess, on the
You really have to watch Grizzly Maze.
Yeah. I mean, it's a political drama about, like, water shortages and, like, mining ice.
With your Thomas Jane thing, though, Grizzly Maze is right up your alley.
Dude, I hate that guy. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the other guy that looks like him. I don't like him either.
Who the fuck looks?
The Highlander dude.
Christopher Lambert?
Christopher Lambert? He don't
like
look
him either.
he don't look like Thomas Jane.
Yes, he does.
He's way older too.
Yeah.
I know, but he looks like like you go back and watch Highlander, he looks like Thomas Jane a little bit.
I could say it a little bit.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Bit, yeah. Well, I'd say Thomas Jane looks
Pull
like
up
him.
my coffee, my folding table, and get my coffee out. Write that down.
he just turned into a meme, right? Yeah. I got the thing I'll go into on here. Just want to give a shout out to one of the best lunches, simple lunches I've had in a while. So Missy and I took a day off today because Missy had a real rough weekend.
I saw that.
Her grandma's pretty much on the door, knocking on death's door. So she did that. She went there yesterday. She found out Saturday. So she's been really having a rough, and she already had today off. So I just took it off. I emailed my boss last night. He's like, yeah. So we went for a bike ride. We did just under 18. Well, by my thing was 18 miles, but just under. And I did the same ride yesterday. It's called the Pork Chop. Is the name of the
that makes sense now because I didn't understand what you were talking about.
Yeah, if you drop in at anywhere along the Hamburger Bush Greenway and you go up to the Katy, down to Defiance, and back up through the Hamburg, that's the Pork Chop.
I guess it's shaped like a pork chop.
It really is. I looked it up after I did it on my map. So it was a good time. But we went to yesterday when I did it with the group. With there was 4 of us yesterday.
You didn't go Saturday?
No, I went Sunday instead.
You could have told me that I was with you.
No. The reason I couldn't go Saturday is because I had to help move. That's why I took that epic nap. I had to help someone move, family member move. But so Sunday we went to Good News, and man, Good News Defiance. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Way more beers on tap.
Yep.
And I had things we don't say IPA. Great. They had a vanilla summer stout.
Okay.
You remember that white stout we had from Good? It was just like that. Very good.
Different. Nice.
And so that was good. But today we went, and so Good News was closed. So we went to Defiance Ridge Vineyard. We both had a citywide because it was cold, and we had just rode under 12 miles, just at 12 miles. But I had their chicken tenders. It's chicken tenders, dude. How hard can it be to make those? Fucking delicious chicken tenders and a cheese plate. And every food I saw come out just made me jealous that I didn't order that.
Yeah.
But we just ordered the
What's it called?
It's called Defiance Ridge Vineyard.
Okay.
Good looking location too. And what's cool is it's way fancier than we were because we were sweaty, but there were other sweaty bike riders in there too, because that's where it is.
We'll do Rachel's birthdays in September, and she always likes to do
it's a good
winery,
one.
so maybe
But the good thing about that is we could do that and then walk to Good News.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's that
Rachel's
close.
not going to ride a bike.
It's that close. Yeah, that is not an earned.
You can ride with me there.
I made the joke. So Missy's doing a good job. Missy's really, she's for her, essentially her 4th bike ride, she did awesome today. Today's ride there is not hard, but the last 3 miles back is like a 6% incline, which is 6 feet 6 feet up for every 100 feet you go. That's a
sucks.
Big climb.
It sucks if you're not used to it.
Yeah, and so that's the only part where she had to really walk today, and so she's doing great. But like, I was riding by her at one point when we got through the Bush Greenway, which is a lot of uphill climbs, but it's on pavement, and it was rough. I mean, it's rough, And we got through, and as soon as we got on the Katie's fairly flat. Now, when we're off air, I'll tell you what our Katie plans for fall are. But I went over to get her a fist pound, rode up beside her to give her a fist pound, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not doing that." And I go, "God, you can do it." I talked her into taking her hand off the. So you know how like when people say, "Come on, you can do that," you used to do that, and it's like riding a bike. Yeah. That's not accurate. Some people forget how to ride bikes. Missy, one of them, but she's getting back there. But anyway, that vineyard is. The wine we had there was good, reasonably priced, but the food was the star of the show, man. Go ahead, Bender.
Last thing I have is I finished it today right before I came over here, actually, Hawkeye Freefall by Matthew Rosenberg and Kim, I'm going to fuck this up, Jacinto, Jacinto. I probably got that right.
Yeah, we'll say you did.
Close enough.
First off, out of the gate, art, spectacular art. You read it?
Yeah, I've read it.
I really enjoyed it. I think the main takeaway is Fraction and then Matthew Rosenberg, 2 standalone Hawkeye stories that are spectacular, and the Marvel Universe borrowed none of it. I guess maybe they will in the show.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think they're using.
And what was the name of this Hawkeye?
Hawkeye Freefall.
Yeah.
So basically, so I'll give you the synopsis here. It says, "Who is Ronan? when a mysterious and ruthless new Ronin starts tearing a destructive path through the city, suspicion immediately falls on Hawkeye, but Clint Barton has more to worry about than who's wearing his old costume. After a clash with the Hood ends badly, Hawkeye takes on a new mission that places him in the crosshairs of one of New York's most dangerous villains.
I'm in.
It's pretty solid.
I'm only jumping ahead of you in line because I'm going to segue off that. I just started reading today when I got home, and I don't even remember his name, but the current run of Daredevil.
Chip Zdarsky.
Zdarsky, yeah. It's awesome.
It's incredible.
And it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And with issue 36, as well as Immortal Hulk.
Immortal Hulk's going.
Both of them are coming to an end. And is this why? Why are these coming to an end? Why not just let a new team take over? We do know they're going to get a relaunch.
Just let them come to an end, though.
But,
if you end that's as a comic book fan, I like when a writer can end his arc and then you just let it end.
Oh yeah, but
like
there was a day where it ends and then the new writer takes over and starts at a new story, and the numbering still goes. But so it's a little different with Immortal Hulk because Immortal Hulk is a completely different name than the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
So it was its own story.
and
but
that's
with
after
Daredevil,
he died when Hawkeye killed him, right? He
yes,
came back after Hawkeye shot him in the eye.
This is Daredevil. The name of the title is the same story that's been going forever. It's just, I think it's just Marvel pulling strings to pull strings.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think I heard that they wanted to go back to number ones to try to get new readers in.
That's the only
Because if you
reason.
see number 700, that's kind of overwhelming for new people.
It is overwhelming.
You've got the only time it works is when you get to 250, 500, 750, and 1,000. And there's only really 3 or 4 comics that can do that. It's Action Comics, it's Detective Comics, it's Amazing Spider-Man, and it's not even Fantastic Four.
Now, really?
No, just that they can always flip back to the numbering when they get close to 1,000. There's not a lot of books that can do that.
You'll always see, though, that it'll be like number 34, and then it'll have legacy number 337.
Yeah.
So
when
I kind of like that idea.
When they get close to a milestone, they'll start doing that stuff, But it's, I don't know.
In like today's day and age with like the internet, literally, if you want to look up the reading order for War of the Realms, it's out there. You have the trades to read, what order to read.
Or even the Marvel app, they give you the order for a lot of those big story arcs.
And by the way, they give it to you at a better... So I told you I was reading the Panic in the Sky, an old Brainiac story from Superman from the early 90s or mid-90s. I was reading it on the DC app. They don't give it to you in order.
No.
They give it to you in order of each series. So action, this, adventure, this. So you have to go and look. You have to click on if your eyes are like getting old like mine and blow it up to see what diamond number it is, or triangle number. Stupid.
And DC had the app, or the issue in the app for a while. When you got to the end of the issue, you had to close the app and relaunch it to get to a new issue. So unless it was the next one in the series.
They fixed that.
On that, is Chip Zdarsky's run of Daredevil the one where he brings in Echo?
No, Echo was Bendis.
No, maybe it's not Echo. The Asian kid.
Elektra's.
There's an Asian kid who uses sound or whatever. I can't remember. It might have been the writer before Zdarsky.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was Mark Waid.
Yeah, Mark Waid. And he had a great run on Daredevil.
Yeah, he was good too.
His was really good because it was throwbacky to old comic-y style stuff. Like Daredevil was fighting villains that he had no business fighting. But it was fun the way he did it.
This Hawkeye run that got us on this tangent is a lot of fun because it brings in it brings in Daredevil, it brings in Spider-Man, like little hits here and there. And D-Man, there was I'd never even heard of D-Man. He has the old Daredevil costume with a Wolverine hat.
D-Man. D-Man. Yeah, he's
Demolition
a bum.
Man.
He's a bum. He lived. Yeah, he was an Avenger. He was actually an Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never heard of him.
He's stinky. Great George Perez covers and splash pages. You know, George Perez, known for drawing team pages. If you ever drew a team page with D-Man, you'd have all the team sitting around and there'd be a big gap before D-Man was up. It was a great running joke. Yeah.
So my only issue with that series was Clint's character was written so much different from the Fraction version. He was like, they made him like an airhead in it. Like he was
just cocky.
Yeah.
He was very
a lot
cocky.
more so than the
Like
Fraction.
more of a frat guy than Fractions was?
No, not frat guy. It's just very confident in his skill set. And,
Well, it seemed like he would mess up a lot
Yeah.
and just be like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
messed up."
yeah. But there's a lot of internal monologue. I like
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read
Yeah.
it. That's for sure.
My only complaint I thought is it, because I was reading on Hoopla, is like they wrapped it up in like 10 pages.
Yeah,
like
they did.
there was like, I was like, how are they going to wrap this up? And he pulls it off. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good wrap up. And I was like, how are they going to wrap this up?
Jay, get us back to back here since I jumped in front of you.
All right. I started Titan season 3.
How's that? Boy, they are fucking advertising the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
show.
they are. It's interesting. It's not the Titans I know,
Yeah.
but
They
like,
make it seems like it's what the thing that DC does with its movies. They're making it dark for no reason.
it's very dark.
Yeah,
And-
they're for no reason. Now that said,
The Red Hood is dark, though, right?
well, the famous Red Hood really not that, but the famous Titan stories of old, like the Judas contract, and those were pretty. Those they looked comic booky, but the tones and the things that those stories touched on were very dark.
yes, they were.
But they were still more comic books. This seems dark and like Daredevil Netflix or Punisher Netflix dark.
Or Snyder.
Or Snyder. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And that's probably what it was. It was they were trying to tag along to that Snyderverse.
I like it. I have to remind myself this isn't the Titans I know.
Yeah, it's a different Titan.
Yeah,
This is
'cause
the adult Titans.
they speed through storylines too. Season 2 was a lot of the Judas contract stuff,
Okay.
but like this Red Hood.
Did they have any parts of where Deathstroke was
No.
sexually a relationship with a 14-year-old girl?
No,
Did they
none
do
of
any
that
They
stuff.
should probably avoid
Yeah.
that.
That's
Well-
been retconned, by the way.
They also shot that before that little tidbit really
Yeah, popped
dropped.
out, yeah.
But this is Red Hood this season, and it's a lot different than any of the Red Hood stuff.
But
There
it's
was a-
fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
fun? That's all I need.
yeah,
You can view it like you talked about earlier a little bit. You might have mentioned. I can view it as an Elseworlds thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a what DC. I know Marvel is always they called out their what if. DC when in terms of its expanded universe, its cinematic
It's
universe,
whatever's convenient.
everything's
Yeah.
what if in the DC universe.
Like if it makes a lot of money, we'll follow that thread for a while. You know.
yeah. I like Doom Patrol a lot better than I like this, but it's still entertaining.
It's
The first couple episodes of Doom Patrol and fell off.
It's great that you brought up Doom Patrol because Brendan Fraser is America's sweetheart right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody put a meme up that said Keanu Reeves and Brendan Fraser could do a film just called Movie,
People
and it
would
would
watch it.
sell. People would watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He teared up. He
did.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
And he tipped his hat like a cowboy.
yeah.
I watched most of that Steven Soderbergh movie on HBO with him in it, where he's real heavy set.
I haven't watched it yet.
You did. Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro, set in like the 30s.
Oh,
I didn't really like
Brendan
that.
Fraser's in that.
Yeah, he's in it. He's the contact between Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro.
What?
Yeah.
The dark one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Sudden Moves or something like that. Is that
Yeah.
what it's called? It sucks. I don't like it.
You didn't like the movie?
I didn't get all the way through it.
I loved it.
Maybe I'll finish it. But
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Give us something else, Jay.
There's rumors Disney's gonna reboot Firefly.
No. Come on, with the original cast?
Probably not. I don't know.
Then don't.
Oh, he
It's
was
early stages.
in that. Sorry, I'm sorry. He was in that for a little. Just because he's got the small,
very heavy set.
and he's got a very small role. But John Hamm and all those guys really
Yeah.
overpower. Sorry, but anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, Firefly Disney reboot.
Animated
Yeah.
Is that what
is
they're
the
saying?
rumor, and I don't mind
I'm
if it's
alright with
animated.
it. If it's animated, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
But also,
They could continue the story if it's
Okay.
animated.
Also, Nathan Fillion got in shape for his 5 minutes on Suicide Squad. I don't want to see a Captain Malcolm Reynolds that's heavy and overweight. But between Suicide Squad and his the Rookie
Yeah.
on which
ABC, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I watched
Whatever.
a couple episodes and they are what they are. But I watch them because he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He slimmed down.
Yeah.
He could play Mal if he had to. The thing about the Whedonverse or the Serenities, that universe.
You could just carry Serenity on.
Well, you could tell stories in that universe that have nothing to do with the Serenity.
Yeah.
Because he built a very good world.
Yeah,
I've got the role-playing game. There's a lot of cool stories that people fleshed out. Books they fleshed out.
Yeah, I'm reading the first novel right now.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of cool stuff.
Is it worth reading?
I'm 2 chapters into it.
You could, if you got the right people to do it, they'll always be worth reading. But so I know it's to call it a poor man's Star Wars is not doing it justice.
Poor man's Star Wars.
But
I would call it a fan of Star Wars who hit all the right notes.
Yeah, what it is,
went more with the Western style.
Yeah, what it is it is the perfect opportunity for someone, whether it be Disney or whoever. Mm-hmm. And Disney's if to put a Kevin Feige or a what's his name? What's not Swingers, not John Favreau, but the other guy,
Filoni.
But the other between Filoni, but a guy like Filoni or a guy like Feige to take that what it is, it's a Star Wars universe that is still in its infancy, and you can do it super well. Super well. But I heard animated. I read somewhere that animated, which is cool. I'm fine with it.
I'd be.
Oh yeah, you could bring everybody back animated.
Don't retcon though the death of Walsh. Don't cheapen his death because it made me cry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Spoiler warning for the new people that jump on.
We've talked about this before, but I saw Serenity before I ever watched Firefly.
Yeah, I encouraged you to. We were neighbors at the time, and I said watch it and then go back and watch the Fire. But it'll hook you, man.
Yeah,
it really does, and you can enjoy them separately without seeing one or the other. But Serenity's ending is a very solid ending. Yeah. Now I do have a question. Are there any aliens? Actual alternate species, or are they all just human-esque people? So the humans. So in the series, the Reavers were people that stared out into the edge of space in the void and lost their mind. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then they became from the planet Miranda. That's where they turned them into. Mm-hmm. But also in the series, the Blue Gloves guys that had psychic. You don't have to do aliens because you have psychic power and stuff. But the guys with blue gloves was never. They never. Those weren't. Maybe they were assassins, but they never went back and told you what those guys were. Yeah. And assassins operated very different. I thought that was a conscious choice. And I don't know, but I thought it was a conscious choice to not bring in alternate species.
Yeah, I think it was.
So that people didn't say it was a poor man's Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you read some of the novelization and some of the stuff and all the stuff that he fleshed out on internet and stuff, there's a really great backstory of how the reason they speak the way they speak English, and when they curse, they're cursing in Chinese. Yeah. Because it was a uniting of the last 2 true superpowers. There's a lot of
there's a lot there.
A wealth of good story. Yeah. They could go back and tell the war with the brown coats. Yep. They could do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
This is, I know the hyperbole and all that bullshit. It's my favorite sci-fi of all time. The series and the movie. Yeah. I loved it. I want to see someone do something with it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and Joss Whedon's not going to be the guy.
More than novels in the
books. But you may have nailed something. If Filoni's going to take over, you could go to Favreau and say, "Man, you did a great job directing this. Mm-hmm. Why don't you take over this universe for us?"
He basically started the Marvel comic universe, and then he fixed Star Wars or made Star Wars.
Oh yeah. And honestly, when Favreau, part of his claim to fame in writing, which for those that don't remember, he wrote Chef, he wrote Swingers, he wrote some of the Maid. He wrote. His big deal with him is his dialogue, a lot like Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think anyone would disagree that what made Serenity so great was some of the dialogue that Whedon wrote. And the original Avengers, it's Whedon's words are what's great. So I'm in.
But at the same time, he also said, What happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Ah, it's the same as everything else. Yeah, that I forgot he wrote that. Yeah. But in his defense, we didn't know any better at the time.
Yeah.
Bender, any more toss it to Tom?
That's basically it for me.
That's it.
I got one more, and this is more of a nana and a boo boo kind of thing. This weekend, Friday, Jay and I will be undertaking an excursion to Kansas City to go to Planet Comic Con. Oh, well, that's kind of trumps us.
I was going to go with, remember this conversation? I was going with you guys, but then I
Does New Orleans have an app for the city like the Comic Con has for them?
They have an ad? An app?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I got an email today.
Oh, I didn't even pay
That's
attention.
awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are actually going to go?
No, yeah, we're going. We're going
That's
Friday. And we're going to leave her like 9-ish.
Yeah.
And we're going to get
Night or in the morning?
Morning. And we're going to get up there, get in our hotel, go pick up our tickets. Hal Pal's not going to meet us early. He's going to be a little late. But Dwayne, I don't know. I'll call Dwayne and them find out. They're kind of like St. Louis proper. The mask mandate's back, and Pal said that it's going to suck having to wear our masks all day again. But I said, sounds like we're just going to do a lot of hotel room drinking then.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm bringing a bottle of bourbon just in case.
Yeah.
So we're going to, but the good news is if we get tired of we do the shows.
Yeah.
And now I will say this, I hate to be preemptively bitch out here. My back is still real bad. So walking that show is going to be tough on me all day. But that's going to give this an excuse to go hit some breweries and things like that pretty. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go back to somewhat close to the norm.
Yeah.
And it's Jay's first chance to go with. He's going to see a lot of drinking.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be. It's epic level drinking when you get around Dwayne, Hal Pal, and me. And I guess I could say this, and we'll talk more about it off the air. It's going to be fun to see Hal Pal and Dwayne together.
Because they bump heads a little bit.
Well, no, we'll talk about it here in a little
you
bit.
told me last time. Anyways,
But it'll be fun. You're seeing us not at our best.
I was going to go. I was 100% in, and then Rachel found some flights on that one to get away to New Orleans in the same weekend, and we didn't get to do anything for 10 years. So
New Orleans is great.
I'm excited. I can't wait to go.
Have you been?
I've never been.
Yeah, I went to. I've been 3 times, 2 straight Mardi Gras, 1 non-Mardi Gras.
I'm past the age where I want to see a Mardi Gras.
Oh God bless, dude.
I don't want to do it.
Me too. But
I mean, if it was there when I was there, I got to see it.
I went in '99 and 2000. I went to the
Peak.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, that girl's gone wild.
Yeah, that's what I went.
Like shit, they don't do that shit. Like you can't get away with that shit.
I
anymore.
bet and when people say, Jeremy, you've met all celebrities. Well, half of my celebrity stories come from Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
But it's good. I don't think I have anything else, unless you guys don't have anything
If
else.
I get any good beer down there, I'll bring it home.
Oh, yeah, but you're flying. It's hard to do that.
Nah, I've flown home with beer every time I've gone anywhere.
Pack it in your suitcase?
Pack it in my suitcase.
Yeah, I brought
Just
that
wrap
stuff
in your
back from
dirty
Florida.
clothes.
Yeah.
I
know you can get away with it. It's just you can't bring as much as you really like.
No, you can't.
Whereas we're going to be in Kansas City, we'll just load up the fucking car if we have to.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
but there is no Missy anymore. There's no
She's
Tom.
gone.
There's no Tom.
It's just a sausage fest from
But
here
if
on
there's
out.
one thing that can carry us through the losses of those two, it's Jay's voice.
Bye.
And then hold on to your butts,
And I will
people.
play the music. One thing I did not bring up, I'll show you guys if you haven't seen it. It's this final act of Nick Cage's career is getting even crazier. It's the best reviewed movie